G'day YouTube. I thought I'd do another quick video on these diesel heaters and how you go about starting them up for the first time. This is actually the second year now of this heater. So what I did before the summer is just ran it completely out of diesel, made sure there was no diesel in the tank or the lines, and I've just refilled it ready for this Australian winter. So what I do is I keep, when I'm not using it, I keep the screen unplugged. So I guess, if pretending this is your first time, you'll connect this up and you'll get a screen like I've got there. The first thing you need to do, assuming that you've gone through the install, and you can have a look at our install videos, but assuming you've done that and it's all ready to go, the first thing that you need to do is you need to prime the pump, or prime the whole system. So this means getting the diesel all the way from your tank and all the way to the heater unit. So once you've got the controller turned on, you're just going to push the OK and the down button at the same time, and you get this H off. I don't know what the H stands for, but basically this is the pump to just use the diesel pump. So if you turn it to on, you'll hear the pump ticking, and now this is the good time to go and have a look at your lines and make sure the diesel's coming through. So as you can see here underneath the van, you can see the little bubbles, or you can see the diesel moving through the lines, and what we want to do is make sure that the diesel makes it all the way to the unit. So you can follow your line all the way to the heater and just make sure that you've got diesel up into the heater. Now you don't want it pouring the diesel into the heater for ages, so if it makes it to the heater, then you can turn it off using a controller. So my unit pretty much takes a full cycle. Like if you leave this, the priming the pump, it takes a full cycle, and my line is about 4 meters long probably. So it takes one full program of this. So when you push on, it'll last for, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, and that's long enough to do about 4 meters of the line. But I encourage you to check under the van like we just did. Now once we've got it primed, we can actually go ahead and turn the unit on. So turning the unit on, you simply push and hold the button like that, and it will come on as on, and it'll go through the cycle. So you can see up the top here is a glow plug icon, and that's the first thing it does, is it heats up the glow plug. You'll see these in and out lights flashing. I think it just starts moving the air through the unit. After a while you'll see the fuel pump come on down here, and it will actually start pulsing again, and then you should see the bars along here creep up as it starts to warm up. So when you first get these units, you'll see that they're set up in the Hertz menu. So if you push this, if you push up or down, you'll be changing the Hertz, and that's the frequency of the pulse of the pump. Most people like to have this in degrees, so all you have to do is push the top 2 buttons at the same time, and you'll change it to the degree setting, and you can then change that up and down with the buttons. These units are really, really good, and I've had it for a year. The big downside of the unit is probably this controller and not being able to leave it on. You can't leave it on permanently because it drains the power. There's no way to turn the screen off, and eventually this screen starts dimming, and dimming so much that you can't see it. So that's why I unplug it, and you can see it's still working, still very bright, and that's why I unplug it at the controller every time when I'm not using it. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully this has helped some people. If you like the video, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. That'd be really helpful. Thanks, guys. So one more thing I'll show you just before I finish up. Turning it off. Now, turning it off, I think the tricky bit is, it's the same as turning on basically, but the tricky bit is that if you just push it, it doesn't turn off. You have to actually push and hold for a couple of seconds and wait for the off to come up. And then once off comes up on the screen, it'll go through its cycle. And what it does is it spins up the fan a bit faster, and just make sure that it cools the whole unit down. So you'll see these bars drop. You actually have to leave the